Welcome to the Shelia New Comedy Show. We are so happy that y'all have decided to join us in all of these new countries that keep popping up and listening. Welcome to y'all too. I am so excited and elated to know that laughter is definitely universal. So I'm definitely so happy to do and to know that, we are impacting people from all over, not just the US, but abroad as well. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's been a lot going on in the news. It's been some sad things going on. It's been a lot of scandal that's been happening. This has been a wild ass 2025 already. What you say, girl, with the 2025 Wanda? How has it been making you feel?
Feel like you're on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's been wild, a wild roller coaster ride. I think that's the best way to describe it.
I agree. And I don't like roller coasters, but we have definitely been on a whirlwind since the top of the year all the way to now. And I just want go ahead. What you was gonna say?
We thought it was wild with Cat Williams last year. I mean, when he was just giving us a preview for 2025, it looked like.
Yeah, yeah. And even when he started out, that did pop the top on some stuff for all of last year. It was an interesting 2024, but I can honestly say that 2025 is definitely one for the history books. I think this year, when they get ready to write about it, when future generations get ready to read about it, I think one thing they're going to do is scratch their damn head and be trying to ask, what the hell were they thinking? And sometimes I'll be scratching my head now, be like, what was people thinking? Like, did you really think that it was not going to be this when the orange person took office?
I
Who
don't.
would have ever thought?
I think we said it was gonna be bad, but I don't think anybody said it was gonna be this crazy. I think
But
this is like top of the crazy.
yeah, but the thing is that he showed it before. So that's what I'm saying. I don't I think we had a discussion about this too. I think when he first took office, it wasn't a lot that he could do because the pandemic happened, right? And then when the pandemic happened, it kind of put all the things like in a tizzy because people was afraid to go outside. They want to breathe on one another. It was so many misnomers about, COVID and what it could do and how you can catch it and all of these things. So it kind of diminished his first term. So he wasn't able to really like wrap his mind around what was going on. So now the people have spoken. He back. And now he giving it to him. I mean, some of the stuff that he's doing, I think even as any person that holds that office, I think in a lot of different instances, he meddling in stuff that shouldn't that he shouldn't be meddling in. I mean, you got your own, woes and things that you're dealing with. So it's a little crazy. But yeah, it's been some crazy stuff. And I know you keep on asking, what's your word or for your theme for the year of 2025? I haven't come up with one. Have you come up with one other than it's crazy?
And not quite yet. Maybe a roller coaster right now, roller coaster ride, roller coaster, but not one word to describe it. It's just sometimes you want to scream, sometimes you want to laugh. You don't know what to feel. Sometimes you gotta turn the news off because there's so much happening, and one day you be like, okay, I gotta cut it out for the day because it's. And I'm a news prop buff. I love the news. I love politics, but it's like so much happening like every day. It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's a good place to just say this. Whatever y'all need to do to take care of your mental and your emotional, your physical health, do that. If that means to turn the TV off, to take a dance break, to do whatever it is you need to do, please take care of yourself. Cause you can get overwhelmed with all this stuff that's going on. It's a lot. But I'ma always choose laughter. And I have gotten back in my regiment as far as like getting up early in the old ass morning at the crack ass to go work out. So I've been definitely on my stuff with that. And let me just tell y'all, this past weekend I got a chance to meet O'Shea Jackson Jr. So shout out to Ice Cube's son. Definitely got a chance to shake Ice Cube's hand out. Look, my last weekend has been the highlight. And shout out to Dwight Howard, Superman. He still got it. He out there still balling out. And it was a great environment to be in, to be among the people that are out here that's moving and shaking. And I think it was just an epiphany for me that sometimes you do have to redirect your focus and your attention and really focus on because there's people out here getting money and they doing what they got to do to help elevate themselves to those next levels. So definitely choose, as you would say, choose joy over jail. Okay. So do what you got to do for yourself, for your mental, for your emotional, your physical health. Don't get caught up into all this stuff that's going on and all these crazy people that's doing what they doing. Handle your scandal. Get out here and make yourself happy. Go outside. Shit. Look at some birds, smell some flowers, do some research, do some stuff that you ain't never done before to get out of the muck and mire of what all that's going on. Cause crazy is as crazy does. So don't get caught up into the craziness as much as you possibly can. But that's my little soapbox moment. But go ahead, how's your month been so far? That was like the highlight of my July, I must say.
Just been a busy month with work and more work. Nothing too exciting. Getting ready to do some traveling next month. But just been trying to keep up with the news, trying to elevate. I do. When we look back at history, this is hopefully just for me a blimp in time. And so I think we have to keep going and be positive, even in the midst of all the craziness. So I don't have a theme or a word for the year yet, but we have to laugh at a lot of things because if not, we'll be crying.
Yeah. I mean, unless you laugh until you cry, and then that's always a good thing too. So you just gotta, stay on it. Don't get so I think too, along with turning off the TV, sometimes you gotta turn down social media too. Because, and I know that people use social media to monetize, to do all the things, post, do what you gotta do, scroll, and then dip. But keep that in moderation. I think that's a good word that I haven't heard that much of this year is doing things in moderation. I think moderation is important. I think that you got to be mindful to what's going on, how it's going on, how it's happening, and and just make sure that you are, on top of your stuff when it comes down to again your mental health, your emotional health, and laughter is a great way to do that. It releases all of those endorphins. It gives you that little boost of dopamine that you need to keep on frolicking and stay on top of your toes. So yes, indeed. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now it's been a whole bunch of stuff going on and Wanda being that you like the news so much, I see little blurbs and stuff like that. But before we get into it too deep, definitely to Malcolm Jamal Warner's family. Our deepest condolences are with you and the loss of somebody who I grew up watching. When I watched The Cosby Show and when I watched Malcolm and Eddie and some other shows that he was on. From what I understood by listening to others give, their account with him, he was like a gentle giant. So we definitely lost a good one. So I definitely want to make sure that we honor, a person who had a comedic bone in his body. I wouldn't coin him as a stand-up comedian, but he did play in some sitcoms. So that gives him a different line to be in, but it's just so sad that, so young and to die so tragically. It's something that we need to really start taking a look at, our lives and what we're doing and how we're doing it and all of those things. So definitely shout out to his family and to his daughter and to his wife. I know it's not going to be an easy thing to get past and nobody's asking you to do that, but hopefully people, his friends and his family will continue to honor his memory. I seen a lot of people say a lot of great things about him, so definitely wanted to bring that to the forefront. And there's been some other people, Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy was a different type of, character. So definitely condolences to the family. And then I know that the wrestler person died. I ain't even gonna mention his name because baby, the way he was going hard in the paint for the little orange man, we just gonna let that be where it's at. So he said he drew his line in the sand. We're gonna let that line be drawn. But y'all been watching. They say death happens in threes, and we definitely got hit with the one, two, three. And I thought I seen somebody else. I think she was a chef or something like that. I didn't get too deep into it, so I don't want to speak her name or until I find out some more information about that. But definitely want to make sure that we acknowledge those that paved the way in the entertainment business for all of us to follow behind. But go ahead, Wanda. I'm gonna let you reflect on the news because I know that's your junk, girl.
Oh, I mean, no, not necessarily a news reflection, but more, I think a lot of times social media has been it can be good and bad. I think it's been an outlet for people, particularly, I came late to TikTok, but I enjoy TikTok, not just for the entertainment, but I think I learned something on TikTok. And it's also become, I think, a place for people of me amateur journalists and to put out news. So I think TikTok is really cool. And I think I think people make their life a reality show. But you don't want to show all aspects of your life, I think. So I was just thinking when you reflect, like if your life was a reality show, what parts of it would you show? I think
I,
for me,
I wasn't showing nothing, but go ahead with your story.
if it was a reality show and you had to make a choice, I would probably show like going to different restaurants because I'm a foodie. So, going to different restaurants and trying out what those restaurants are like. But I haven't posted more on social media at all. Just doing more. There's something I kind of enjoy. It's an outlet outside of work. It's so fun.
And that's good. I mean, I think we all need to have, things that take us away from our day to day and not to get caught up. But speaking of social media and doing things and let your life be a reality show, yeah, I know everybody's seen it because it was broadcast like millions and millions of times when Coldplay concert and whoever the CEO was of whatever company was with his girlfriend and they just shed the light right on them and they was just all hugged up and cozy. What the hell was you thinking? So you thought that number one, Coldplay been around for a long time. That's number one. Number two, it's cell phones everywhere. Hello. Everybody is recording something. There's always a chance of your ass getting picked up on somebody's camera, whether you digging your nose, whether you eating some chips, whether you scratching your ass, whether you got toilet paper hanging out on your shoes or whatever. It's somebody always watching. So then you out in the public and you know you married and here go the camera and then they just bust you out and it verbally, and now you've been berated all through social media. One, I know you seen it. What you think about the CEO that got busted with his girlfriend at the Coldplay concert?
Well, I say they probably were drinking a little bit. They might have just been having fun. They might have just been, how you get your coworkers were just playing around. They probably went in, but they messed up. They messed up with their reaction. That's what messed them up. Because
Well, he was behind her, hugging her from the back like that, like he was her man.
no, but the thing was when the camera went on him, he jumped. Like
Because he was out there doing some shit. He said, no,
they shouldn't have jumped if I would have paid attention.
girl, yes, they would, because they had that camera on them tight, baby. I mean, listen, I get it. I enjoy sometimes being around my coworkers too. Matter of fact, I was just with some coworkers I ain't seen in some years, but it ain't gonna be that though. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got to be at no concert, and we ain't got to be doing nothing. But it ain't gonna be no hugging and no bumping and no we rendezvousing and stuff like that. It ain't never been that deep. And yet he jumped because he knew instantly that, oh, I'm in trouble. So yeah, sir, you got
But
your heart.
Coldplay, what's his Chris? I can't Chris. I forget his name. The Coldplay guy. He said either they really shy, they cheating. He busted them. He busted them. He
Yeah,
busted them.
that is really it's snowballed. Because think about it, if that was his woman, his wife, even if let's say he wasn't married and that was something and she wasn't married, if they was together like that, they wouldn't have had that reaction. Even if they was shy, they would have been like, okay, it's a moment. It's a concert. It's just like you going to a basketball game and your picture get flashed up on the big old screen, or they do like the kiss cam or whatever. It's always something going on in a public event that you can be spotted doing just about anything. So you have to be mindful of your surroundings. He thought that, okay, we in another area of the world. Ain't nobody gonna see this ever. I don't know. Again, I don't know what people be thinking. If anybody has a cell phone that has a camera on it and they got that little button that you can record, anything is possible. I mean, come on now, we got better and being outside, but they just wanted to do what they gotta do. But he got caught with his drawers down, literally.
And he definitely got caught, and now he had to resign from his first. He resigned from his job,
Oh,
and now today, yesterday, she resigned. So now they both don't have a job
so now you're gonna be broke and assed out. That's wonderful.
and lost your family.
All because you wanted to be all up in somebody's concert doing something, and you done told your people that you was on the business trip. You was on the business trip. You was tripping. You was doing some stuff that you ain't had no business doing. It's just crazy. So that was funny to me. I absolutely love it when people think they sneaking because what it's a saying, baby. What's done in the dark comes to light. So you got to be mindful. You can't be out here sneaking and creeping and sneaking, and don't think
Yeah,
ain't nobody gonna see you, baby. They
I'm
gonna be
sure.
seen.
I'm sure the whole thing gave a lot of people flashbacks, and if people thought about cheating, they might have changed a couple people's mind. Like, well,
Yeah, well,
let me
hopefully
not do that.
we're gonna look at the therapeutic way. Yeah, if your ass thought about doing something, yeah, there you go. And now all of a sudden, you're old. Yeah, just be mindful. If you're gonna do it, don't be at nobody concert doing it, okay?
I mean, and they had other workers there from the company were also there.
Baby,
So
they probably was the talk of the town. Within look, what is it? The grapevine in any environment, no matter if you work in corporate or not, baby, that grapevine is real. And if you think that people don't realize what it is that you doing, or you think you got the market cornered on some secret creep, you don't, baby. Because if one person know what's going on in the office, you best believe that everybody know. What's going on there ain't no secrets in corporate America. Everybody know. If you
what those
doing some dirty stuff, everybody gonna figure it out.
I mean, one of the pictures they showed the coworker, and she was on the corner from where they were, and they show her face when it happened, and she was laughing. They're like, "Yeah," she's like, "Look, they busted." It's like she
See?
know they busted.
Yeah,
But
that was only a matter of time, baby.
but
And I,
they just did a bad job of playing it off. They could have got away with it. They just played it off really bad. They could have
man, but
gotten away with that thing. They could have if they had acted calm, like we were just being silly.
girl, but you know what the whole thing, but that guilt, baby, that guilt do something different. You feel me? So they had to figure something else out, but yeah, I think that's just one of the things is they ran that every outlet that I was listening to was talking about that. I mean, every outlet. It was crazy to me. Now look, I see that you did a little runaround back on Shannon Sharpe. So he settled his lawsuit, huh?
Yeah, there's been a lot of news going on this July because this a new year, I guess. But yeah, he settled his lawsuit for $20 million.
Dang.
So that was a waste of money, stupidity. This what happened when you act stupid.
Yeah, but so now if he settled, what does that do for his network career? Because I know that he still had a spot with ESPN, that he was, reporting on some stuff. So does that jeopardize that? Because I mean, when you settle, it's like an admission of guilt, is it
Well,
not?
yes, it's settled, but they agreed to a settlement, but it also won't. Other things won't come out about it. I'm sure she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so then she won't talk about other things that may have happened. So you left to wonder about a lot of things. Yeah.
Eh,
So I think it probably benefited both of them to settle, so they came to an agreement.
Wow, that's a lot of money, baby, to
And she
be.
retired, and then she issued a statement that she was retiring.
I know that's real. I would be retired too. Why you playing? If you running 20 million, baby, I'm sitting on the beach and rubbing my feet together. Okay, we're gonna see if we can rub it together long enough to make glass from the sand. Baby, I'm gonna be retired too. I'm gonna fly over somewhere and then have me a little piece of island somewhere where I can drink some real coconut water, eat some real fresh fruit and all the things. Honey, I'm gonna be chilling. I'm not mad at her.
Hopefully he'll learn the valuable lesson and settle down and does something reasonable the next time and not stupid. I don't want to
We'll
hear no
see.
I don't want to hear no other videotapes of him or audio tapes of him. I'm tired of hearing this. I want to see his show, but I haven't even watched that lately. I really used to like his show. I mean, I want to see him interview some good people. Get back to doing that and stop
Yeah, but that's
distractions.
been quiet too. He ain't been doing that because I think this is kind of, he might have to do what he's been doing. He got to let stuff ride out for a little while. I think sometimes, as my granny would say, he got too big for his britches. He felt like, oh, I'm untouchable. I'm Shannon Sharpe. I can do this and I can get away with it. But baby, I mean, if y'all haven't learned nothing, especially going back to 2024 at the top, when cats start peeling off the layers, ain't nobody safe out here in these streets, baby. It's celebrities going to jail. It's some that's still in jail. It's some that done died in jail. Baby, ain't nobody safe out here in these streets. You to pay attention and to be mindful of what you're doing. You're still a person. You're not above the law just because you have a certain income bracket. We gotta make it make sense and make it be better. But I like this next one. So you tell me what's your good memory of a Cosby Show when it come down to Theo?
Probably the episode where he wanted to go to the prom and he couldn't afford to buy the shirt, so he had his sister make the shirt.
Denise.
Yeah, Denise make
Mm-hmm.
the shirt for him, and then the shirt looked crazy.
Yeah.
He still wore it. That's probably one of my episodes I remember the most, or that I enjoyed a lot when I think about him.
I like the one when they did the anniversary for his grandparents
Yeah,
and they were all singing.
yeah.
And Rudy, she was so cute when Keisha Knight Pulliam, she was so cute as a little girl and her doing her little part. But I mean, the Cosby Show was an iconic show because it was done differently than any other show on TV back during that time because you saw affluent, a black family that lived in a great brownstone in New York. The father was a OBGYN, the mother was an attorney. It was something that really wasn't done. They had children that did well, but they also, tackled whatever issues that they were dealing with and faced with. But it just showed that we can be more than just ball players and musicians. And I'm not digging against any of that, but we didn't see that back in the day. If you think about it, when we were coming up, we had Sanford and Son, shout out to Red Fox, but he was a junk man and his son worked for him in the business. So we didn't see, us playing doctors and us playing lawyers and stuff like that. So when the Cosby Show came out, it did put a different spin on how we look at black families as a whole. And I was so proud of that fact that they were able to, bring that to the forefront and have a really what a nuclear family looks like. You didn't have to have 2.5 kids. They had a lot of babies, but they was able to still make stuff shake in a two-parent household. And that's something that we don't always get to see. But I'm glad that, even, Mr. Cosby, Dr. Cosby has had his own run in with the law and things like that. I don't think that because of what this meant and what that show meant that it won't taint it because of, his indiscretions or whatever the case may be. But I did read somewhere where when he found out about Malcolm passing, he said that it made him feel the same way when his own son was taken too soon. So, that just lets you know how deep, that cast family was toward each other. So definitely, again, shout out to the Malcolm Jamal Warner's family and our deepest condolences to his wife and to his daughter and to anybody who's ever worked with him and other family members that we may not be aware of. Now I know this Thursday, you been going ham about it. So tell me about what Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, what he doing?
Well, Hunter Biden, you don't normally hear a lot from Hunter because he's had his issues with drugs, and so you've never really heard a lot from him.
Hmm.
But he did an interview with this thing called Channel 5, and it's a 3-hour interview, but it's a really good interview.
Hmm.
And you get to understand him, you get to understand a lot about the election and what went into Joe Biden decided not to run. He called everybody out. He has no filter on the interview.
I like it.
He's cursing, but you can ignore that part, the cursing, because he just has no filter. Anything you might have thought about, he's telling it.
I know
He's
that's
telling,
real.
he's telling who didn't want Joe Biden to run for president. He calls out Nancy Pelosi. He calls out George Clooney. He calls out all of them. He calls out Capper for writing the book about him. So he's calling everybody in the interview. He talks about how Kamala really supported their family and supported President Biden. So that was good to hear because you wondered if they had a little rift because she ran and he stepped back. But he said no, that's like family to them, and that they wanted her to win. They supported him,
Hmm.
and so that was good. That was good to hear. But he talked about history. He talked about the Reconstruction. So you also realize he's really intelligent. The cool part. And then he talks about his drug addiction and how he started out on drugs and why he did drugs. And you can tell how he kind of romanticized crack cocaine, and he talked about it, which he said, which is why he got a problem with it.
Oh wow.
So he was very honest, brutally honest, and just really authentic. And so it just showed a humble person who has, who's had some troubles, but it also showed how smart he is. He talked about, like, they talked about him getting money from Ukraine, but he also went through his resume, his career, and the stuff that he done. And he was like doing nothing. That was a part. That's what he always did. That was a part of his job.
Hmm.
And he said that you look at the current administration, they do stuff right in front of everybody. You know, he got in trouble because he was selling paintings, and they doing cryptocurrency, they doing phone companies, they doing golf courses, all out the open. Nobody saying nothing.
But
So
that's how it is. But fear is a different driver too. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, I think, with this current administration, he's pulled out the veil on everything that has been going on in DC probably for years and years when it come down to politics and stuff like that. But now you got a person. That's one thing I can say about the orange person that I kind of respect. Low key, it's like he don't give a fuck. That's like his whole machismo, and he's exposing a lot of the stuff that's been going on that a lot of times people turn the other way or they don't say anything and they can't filter him. It's like they don't know what he's gonna say, how he's gonna react. So they tiptoe, they walk on eggshells around him because of who he is and because he is such a very big, personality. But it shows what's broken in this society as a whole. These people are elected officials. They do not get these jobs just because they look good or they filled out an application. Somebody had to vote them in. That's why, and this is my only stance on politics. I don't care who you vote for, what party you align yourself with. None of that matters not to me. What matters is that get involved on your local level first. Don't fuss about some stuff when it's the national stuff. Get involved on your local. Understand who's running for your city council, who running for the mayor in your city that you live in. Some of us live in smaller towns and bigger states, and we don't know the first person who's running, and then all of a sudden when the election time comes, you just like eeny, meeny, miny, and mo. You just want to skip a few 99, 100, and you just picking people because of the name sound like it might be somebody be okay to be the job, but get more involved. And if you find yourself more involved on a regular local level, then as you continue to go up, then hopefully you won't have these problems in the future. But right now, people roll the dice, you get what you got. So congratulations. Again, y'all gotta sit with it. This only the first year down. You got 3 more to go. So
okay.
just buckle up, buttercup.
I don't think I don't think it's gonna make it 3 years. Hopefully not. But
Well, I'm just saying.
we think we're gonna be all right. But I'm
Oh,
just
Imma be alright
uh,
anyway, but yeah, I mean, I just have to in my mind, I just gotta continue. I can't that's like unnecessary stress. I'm not doing that. Like, I mean, I think we're gonna live in this world. Plus, I lean on not on my own understanding or his either. So therefore, my whole mindset is different when it come down to that. I ain't got time to be trying to figure out what he gonna do today, tomorrow. I mean, right now he on his way to Ireland and grab
guns.
or Skylar, yeah, whatever he gonna do over there, I hope y'all ready, cause he coming, but he on his way.
He's
And
on
yep, I
he's
think the Epstein files do exist.
with
Hello.
he's on there with Scotland, and they put out an ad in this major newspaper in Scotland
Mhm.
that said a felon is coming to visit,
I,
and they got
I love
his. 'Cause I had to look it up to make sure it was real. I said it's probably AI, but no, the newspaper put out a big front
I
page
know
story
that's
with his
real,
picture.
cause you going
Man,
into other people's countries, but see, that's the thing, right? Again, shout out to all the countries that listen to the Shelia New Comedy Show. We appreciate y'all, but we so happy that y'all paying attention. But what I'm so excited about more than anything else is that y'all is standing up and saying a lot of stuff that either we are afraid to say or won't say out loud in the public forum. But y'all taking it to them. Canada took it to them like, yeah, we ain't gonna be no 51st state. We ain't doing that. You don't get to tell us how we doing what we do. So definitely stand y'all ground. He the president of these United States. He ain't got nothing to do with what y'all got going on. So definitely and big shout out to Scotland. Y'all running ass talking about who coming. Y'all understand it ain't Santa Claus. So it's good on you when it come down to it. But yes, that is a wonderful thing to know and see. But and then to go back to the whole Jeff Epstein thing, hell yeah, I think a whole bunch of stuff exists when it came down to it. It's like what's that lady name that used to be the madam, not the madam, but she had the call girl thing and
I
she
don't know.
had
I can't think of her name, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, but she what I want is it not Heidi Fleiss or is it Heidi
Yeah, Heidi Slice.
Okay, so if y'all don't know, y'all can look it up, Google it, whatever. Everybody Google stuff. But Heidi Fleiss was like the call girl upper echelon, and she had papers on everybody. Anybody who was anybody, all the A-listers, B-listers, C-listers. If you was doing it, she knew about it, and she had a book and she had files. So Jeff Epstein is like the modern day Heidi Fleiss. He was just a dude. And then, cause it was a special on Netflix, um, about Jeff Epstein and how he was a very perverted person, in real life. But it was a lot of people that he surrounded himself with. And I guess I don't know, this a mudslinging contest of a different kind, but I guess they're gonna get down to the bottom of it. They said that he killed himself when he was incarcerated, but I don't think that's what happened. But that's a, topic for a different day. But I do think that the files exist. Why wouldn't they? You want to have, a paper trail because you never know if the stuff is gonna blow back. It's just like the whole stuff that was happening with Diddy and the baby oil and the freak off parties and stuff like that. People have record of stuff. So you can't be thinking that you're gonna be having all of these things and ain't nobody checking the checkers. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna check somebody. So yeah, I think they exist. Do you think they exist?
Yeah, I think they exist. I think they want us not to think they exist.
Right.
I think they're trying to walk it back. Like, they say, "Oh, we got all these files, and we're gonna tell the whole story." Now all of a sudden, they don't want to tell us nothing. Like they want us to forget about it.
It was just our imagination. That's what they want us, honey, but our imagination is not running away from us. I believe that it did happen. I think they had to ice Jeff Epstein just because of who he knew and who was involved and how far it goes. When you keep going down, the rabbit hole continues to get deeper and deeper. And then you find out that these people out here doing stuff. that you wouldn't think they would do. But again, you got to think about it. These individuals who do stuff like this really think that they be above the law. They think that they not gonna get caught. They don't think they have to pay for no. They don't get no repercussions for their actions. They think that they just get a little slap on the wrist and the pass because oh, I'm this person and I'm making this kind of money and I'm have this kind of influence and and I give to these types of charities and all of this stuff. Come on, people, we got to wake up and we got to do better. We got to stop, trying to play this little snowman game and think people just gonna go for it. Cause I mean, it ain't gonna be who am I gonna believe, me or my or your lying eyes. I'm gonna believe whatever the facts are, and if the facts say what they need to say, then that's what it is. And I'm sorry that you got caught up, but you got caught up, sir. And unfortunately, he's no longer here to defend himself. But even the female that was part of trafficking young girls too, she's starting to speak out on it now because he's saying that he ain't had no relationship with Jeff Epstein, but it's all starting to come off, now. They're trying to do whatever they got to do. They definitely slinging mud in epic proportions, honey. They is definitely doing it. So now I know that you into AI and Chat GPT and all the things. So who the hell left the gate open and said AI has a therapist? What?
Well, a lot of people using AI as their therapist.
Mm,
So they would go to ChatGPT and ask questions like they would talk. They might talk to it like they're talking to a therapist.
mm.
And so a lot of people are using it in that way.
Yeah, yeah. Um, for recipes, yeah. Let me ask a question about why is my plant dying? Maybe. But when it come down to, talking to somebody, I think don't nothing beat, somebody who has gone to school and who is human, right? And who can really empathize with what you have going on. And even in some instances, sympathize with what you got going on. But I
You can
don't
do all of that. You can
no,
name it. You can name it and all.
I'm good. Mm-mm. I don't want it. I ain't that, I'm just, hey, to me, don't nothing beat old fashioned, personal connectivity, not with, artificial intelligence. I'm good on that. I guess I'm old school for real when it come down to that. I'm a people person and I'm with the people and I don't think AI could definitely meet me where I live when it come down to stuff. Cause I think some of us have gone through different things, tragic things in our lives, and some things not so much. And I don't think artificial intelligence can really relate to what the human experience has been. And I think that's what we have to make sure that we don't lose that connectivity with people. And I think that's why therapy is important, whether it be singular therapy or group therapy. You want to make sure that, you getting that person to person thing going on. So, I mean, for me, like again, asking for recipes, stuff like that. Yeah, I do that. But therapy? Nah, I'm good on that.
What would challenge you to go answer the question this week? Like, let me see. How do I feel? How do I make myself happy? And I want to know what the response is.
Yeah, that would be deep, but I think that's
That's
yeah.
what. That's what you try it. Let's see. They'll be open.
I no, I'm good.
They'll come up, be open. Then come in and report back and tell us what it is.
Oh, I'm not. Oh no, I ain't gonna do that, baby. You already know. I said no.
Tell
Oh
us
no,
what it
I'm
is.
not. I'm not gonna do that. But listen, this I want to touch on this, and then at some other point, we're gonna take some time out to broaden the base as we talk about therapy and things, right? And I think this is one thing why I wouldn't ask, AI, because I think everything is generalized. Because we all know that we have different experiences. Right? It's just like now because of the age that I am and the changes that I'm going through with my body, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's like a lot of times women, especially, we don't talk enough about this part of the journey when as we become older and more mature and we start going through different cycles in our life, nobody in my family, no woman other than saying, "Oh, it's hot," and I'm hot, and everything had to do with heat. And I'm like, well, what does it make you feel like? What does the heat feel like? And and why does these kind of things happen? I think that we need to get more to the table when it comes down to that, because there are generations that are after us that, really want to dig in to have these conversations. Now, some shows like The View and some other places have talked about women in menopause or perimenopause or postmenopause. Some women are starting to do it earlier than their 50s now, depending on what their health, what they got going on. But it's like especially me, I'll just say that for me growing up, certain things we didn't talk a lot about when it came down to it. And then my mom was a nurse by profession, right? So so the environment was very sterile when she talked about it. And she made it feel like, ugh, like I was almost afraid to ask questions because I didn't want the medical terminology behind it. I wanted the human experience behind it. So, and I'm a mom that has two daughters and a son. And I wanted to make sure that when we had conversations, no matter how uncomfortable the conversations were, but we could still talk about it. And then I will always try to find the light in it, right, to make it funny in order for us to get through those conversations. And I'm, happy to say even now, my oldest is older, but we can still have conversations about whatever. When it comes down to our bodies, when it comes down to our mental, our emotional, sometimes people, I had one of my coworkers, say, I don't know, I'm just in a mood. I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. I don't know what's going on. And we got a lot of that. But a lot of times we don't talk or we'll dismiss it and say, oh, girl, it's probably nothing, or maybe you need to eat something, or maybe you need to rest. We need to start paying attention to these little precursors that go on in our bodies and really start thinking about, what does it mean, and really have open and honest conversations to help, not to judge, but to help one another. And I think once we start having those dialogues and being open, we can start, then we can poke fun at it once we get through the seriousness of it. It's just like me. I tell people all the time, I have fans, whether it's the hand fans, the portable fans, because these little personal summers that be going on, whether it be in the middle of the night, during the course of a day, it just, hell, I get hot in my head and, everywhere. So I'm like, what the hell? And and nobody could really ever, explain why, I was that is happening, like what is triggering it and what can I do to counterbalance. So one of the things that I found out that does help me is working out. It helps counteract those flashes because I'm using parts of my body that's not being dormant. So if you're listening, ladies, and if you're over 40, or even if you're journeying into your 50s, or you may be in your 30s, and because maybe some life changes have happened in your life that you are going through your own personal summers, find a workout routine that you like and find, and let me know if that balances you out a little bit, and drink plenty of water. I'm big on that, and watch your diet. I think all of those things play a big part in making sure that you even your body out. Don't go eating junk. Sugar can be counterproductive. So if you're a soda drinker or whatever the case may be, you may want to look into those things. I'm personally trying to stop at some point drinking coffee. That is right now my Achilles heel. I drink a cup every morning, and I really don't like people say it's okay if you drink black coffee. Well, honey, I like all the flavors. Okay, I want all the flavors. I need the the sugar. So I'm like one thing at a time. But I think you just got to walk it back the best way you know how. So that's my little soapbox moment. But we will dig more into that because I think, as women, our bodies are remarkable. We not only just house the babies and birth the babies, but we do so much more. And these bodies of ours are amazing. So we definitely gonna dig in, and then we're gonna poke some fun because baby, as you get older, you might start off perky in your 20s, but honey, once you start getting older, thing gravity will take over if you don't do what you got to do to counterbalance. And I ain't for, everybody to each his own. So I'm not advocating for one thing versus the other, but I do whatever's best for you, but make sure that it's the healthiest version of whatever you need to do for yourself. So that's my moment with that. Positive affirmations. Wanda, what are your positive affirmations for not just now, but throughout the year so far?
I just think we need positive affirmations are a little different, something to make us laugh, like, laugh out loud, make sure you laugh and be on the wild side. I think things like that, especially this year, you need stuff that's gonna make you laugh and be bold.
Absolutely. I think laughter, again, is the best medicine. I think that we have to do things to make us um, forget, even if it's just for the moment, and then be able to just move on from that and hopefully clear out our heads so we can do what we need to do. But yep, I like those. Live a life of laughter, live, love, and laugh. That's one thing that I would say. That would be an affirmation that I would stand on myself personally.
And we hope that anybody who's hearing this will take those and, use those over the next month or so. When you get bored, or you kind of down, just say, live a life of laughter. And hopefully it'll make you and remind you to laugh.
Absolutely. And then if not, just go back and listen to the podcast, all of them, and then have some fun and laugh or whatever it is that takes you to those next levels. And go ahead and do that and be on point. So absolutely. I absolutely love it.
Do we have a final word from Sheila New?
Yes, you do. Inhale and let it go. And don't forget to laugh. And laugh at yourself. It's the best laughter of them all. When you can look at some of the crazy stuff that you done or said or whatever the case may be, and you can find the laughter or the humor in it, guess what? Congratulations. You're human. And it's okay. And it's okay to laugh at some other stuff. And I always tell people it's a difference when people laugh with you versus laughing at you. I'm not a big proponent of the laughing at people. I'm more of a proponent of laughing with people. Laughter soothes my soul more than I can describe really in words. I love to hear the laughter from little children, from older people, from people who may have been having a bad day. And you can come in and say something, whether it's quirky or silly or whatever the case may be, and to hear a person laugh and laugh with sincerity and the fullness thereof, baby, it does my soul some good. So be bold. Choose today and then choose tomorrow. But whatever it is, live in the moment, laugh in the moment, love in the moment, walk boldly in whatever it is you have going on because life is going to keep life in. We already know what it is, we see it. But choose the opposite. Go down another direction. Handle your business. Girl, be sassy. Boy, be sassy. Put on something that's going to make you feel your best, whatever that looks like. And don't look to your left or to your right and worry about what he say, she said, whatever it is you got on. Wear what you wear, rock how you rock, laugh how you laugh, dance how you dance. Dance like ain't nobody watching and everybody's watching at the same time. And don't give a DAMN about what their opinion is of it of you. As long as you're happy, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Smile from the inside out and you will feel so, so much better. And I promise you, as long as you find something to laugh at, it'll make your life a lot more doable no matter what you have going on. So again, live, laugh, and love out loud and be the best version of yourself. It's not about the perfection. It's definitely about the progression. And as I posted the other day, make sure whatever it is you're doing is being reciprocated no matter what and who or how. Make sure that it's a fair exchange, baby, and no robbery. And we are so glad that y'all are still rocking with us. We in season 5, episode 5 of the Shelia New Comedy Show. Couldn't be more happier to bring this to y'all once a month and keep coming back and keep listening, keep promoting, and just stay tuned and stick around. I'm sure we got some things that I'm not even aware of what's going to happen. And yes, as my baby just said, go download that app. There is an app. Click that link. We're going to figure out how to put the link of the app and the website together. And our trademark is coming soon too. I want y'all to let y'all know that that is happening. We is on the horizon for that too. So thank y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for rocking with us 2 years and some change, and we still at this thing called comedy. So we'll see y'all when we see y'all.
Peace.